and I'll take any questions when I'm done, or even during if you have a question and you can't wait. I've been running dogs for quite a while. I've run good dogs that ran well. I've run bad dogs that ran okay. And the most important thing is to have a happy dog and don't get upset and that type of thing. So I'm just going to go through some of the notes that I made. I plagiarized some of these, so I'll tell you what. So I started beginning when I've been doing this for so long. But the biggest thing is, when you're going to work your dog, is that you be fair to it and that it's in pretty good condition. Okay, you don't want to take a really fat dog and start training them to pull. You need to kind of just walk them and get some wild dogs. So I always say healthy dogs are a must. A good healthy feet. It's not fair to ask an unsound dog to pull. So if it's not healthy and not crazy to run and crazy to do what they're doing, then just enjoy the dog for what it is. One of the most important things, even if the dog has obvious faults, even east-west in the front, or cow-hawk to the back, any major faults as far as its construction, the dog's happy in his heart. If he wants to pull, will overcome that for the fun that you're going to get from it. And if it starts to be too much, you can back them off and go from there. But the most important thing is that the dog has good feet. If you need to booty a dog, that's totally fine. There are some good working tools that you can get from sled dog places. But it's very important that trim the hair off the dog, trim the nails, so that they're up on their pads and they're ready to work. So if you don't have good feet, then you need to work on getting the nails trimmed and the hair trimmed and getting that done. Needs to learn some just basic skills. One of them is to stand and stay when commanded to do so. So you want them to stand, you're going to put a harness on them, you're going to check them out real quick, make sure they're hydrated. Very easy way to make sure they're hydrated is give them some kibble in their water before they drink. If you don't know if the dog is hydrated, you can take a nap on their neck, pull the skin up and see how quick it reflexes back down. That's the kind of standard in sled dog racing, is to see if the dog's hydrated. Moisture in their lips and gums is another way. If they're dry there, they may be start to be a little bit hydrated. The other thing is they need to accept noise and something being drugged behind them. So you can start off just making noise behind them, somebody on a bicycle, or dragging something yourself when you're walking the dog. Okay, so they get used to something being back there, it's not going to hurt them, not going to run over them. Usually 6-8 foot rope is plenty if you're going to drag. I've started with the stick. Actually, I teach a couple Siberians how to pull. What we call tourists, they would look out, they love running, but they didn't understand they were to pull. So that's why you have to start from the basics. Drag a stick, drag anything, so that they start working in the harness. The other thing is give them a command to do what you want. So you're ready, you can use okay. A lot of mushers use height. You can use mush if you want to. So that they know that specific command means you want them to start pulling. So you want to give the command. You want them to slow down or stop pulling. They may not stop, but they at least know what you want from them. And so you have a whoa or stop, or whatever your command is. Establish whatever it is you want to use. You can use any word in the English, German, whatever dictionary. As long as you use it consistently, they'll know what you want. I happen to use hike. A lot of times when you're first hooking up dogs, you don't even need that. You can't hear it anyway. So I'll use hike or let's go. Or I try not to I tell people who are helping me, don't say go. Are you ready? Let's go. Are you ready to go? Don't say that, because they don't go. So go is a good word. And then whoa or stop, hang on or easy, something to that effect. So you want to give them the basic commands. You also want to start teaching them to ignore basic distractions, other dogs, bicycles, other people that might be on bike path or something where you're working your dog. So you can do that when you're walking them, like have a treat or have a command for, leave it. And that's what I usually use is leave it. Just a squirrel or whatever it is, leave it, reward. And then when you want a dog to work out ahead of you, they're going to follow a path, whether it's in the snow, or a bicycle path, or a dirt road. And I encourage you not to use pavement roads, because if the dog's ever loose, it'll assume that's okay. I do not allow my dogs to go on road. Okay, but a dirt trail or a dirt road is fine. So you want the basic skills is stand and stay, accept something being dragged behind them, pull and stop on command, and ignoring distractions. Once you get the dog to start working out in front of you, then you can work on right and left. Nothing wrong with using right or left. But if you want to be more traditional in working horses or dogs, you use G for right and haw for left. Now, when you give a dog commands, sometimes they don't recognize that. So if I have a dog and I tell them G and they turn to the left, I'll say no, the other G. So teach them the G and haw. You can teach them that with treats. Just remember, if you're facing them, they're going to work the opposite direction. You can teach G and haw so that when you get out there, they start to recognize that means turn right or left. You can do it with obedience dog. You can just do it with a show dog. When you go around, I tell my dog in confirmation on by. That means he doesn't need to be beside you. He can run right out of it. So with those basic skills, the goal is to get the dog to pull out in front of you, which you've probably been teaching your dogs not to. So that's why it's important to get special commands for them. Okay, hike, go, and that'll help you just get down the hallway to and from the shows and the hotel and things. The collar and a harness is going to tell the dog what you're doing. So if you have a collar on, that's for direction, right? If you put a harness on, he knows he's going to pull. A lot of dogs, my dogs got really excited when I pulled the harness out and bring here. They haven't been harnessed here, but they know what those little things are, and they got pretty darn excited between that and getting the truck out of the driveway. The next thing is conditioning and training. They're two different things totally. Okay, in training, you're teaching a dog something, so you don't need to go far. You just need repetition. So conditioning is getting them in shape. Okay, so you may need to condition them, and you can do that. They're just beside you, but training, you want them to start working out there. So when you get a harness, the most important thing is fit. Not style, it doesn't have to be a sled dog harness. It can be one of the working harnesses, as long as it's not an anti-pull harness, which would definitely defeat the purpose. But it can pull from the back, the middle of the back, because you're not going far. At the very best, they're pulling a small cart or something, and they're just pulling with you. So you want to make sure the harness fits right, and it's going to tell the dog that that's what you're going to do. We're now going to allow you to pull. They're going to like that because that's an exercise that they really enjoy. So that's a good reason that when you're done pulling, you reward them a lot, praise them, take the harness off, and now they're not going to pull. They'll know that means we're done. Okay, that's usually one of the first things I do when I bring a team back. Is I pull in, I give them a water, some treat, get the water back in them, and then I immediately start taking the harnesses off so they know we're done. So now that you've got your dog and you've been working him and he's pulling something, you need to make some kind of a drag that actually makes them work a little bit. It could be almost anything that you can put the snap to. It can be a small tire. It can be a small skid or something like that. But generally you want something that will move but still needs some effort. Probably one of the most common things is a really small car tire or something. They can pull it pretty easily, and it gives you a little more control when you're pulling something a little bit more. But if you train them, like we talked about, not to accept something back there, then this usually is pretty easy and straightforward. So you just want to have it fastened down someplace, the drag. So when you hook it up, they're still stable, they can't run away from you, you're ready for them. You disconnect the drag, and then you get that hike or go command, and you're ready to go. I would suggest that you either have another leash on the harness or on the drag, because they may get away from you if you don't. So you can have a leash with you and let them pull, and then you can help put a little bit more pull on with them too. You can use treats when you're first training to get them to go. But once they know they get the pull, it's all fun. They generally be done with the treats till the end. You take the harnesses off. A little bit more here on the training part. But work on the commands: the G, the haw, the on by, or basically get away from distractions. Just tell them on by. It also means straight. You got the G for right, the haw for left, and the on by for straight. So if you come up to an intersection, it helps get that training in there too. If you're training in an area where there's lots of people, it's good to let them know that you're coming up from behind them. When we're passing or notifying somebody on trail, we'll tell them trail. We'll yell trail. But what you might want to yell is like, dog's coming, I'm behind you. They have headphones on or something, you're going to scare them. I don't know, throw a rock at them or something. Not really. But I have come up behind people riding bikes on sled dog trails, and also skiing, and they had headphones on. We had a little story. We had somebody was pulling a pole or a sled behind them, and we're out for the day trip, and the dog smelled the food. We got faster and faster. We came up there, my lead dog jumped on the sled to get the food. It's but he wasn't listening. I was like, trail, hello, hello. And I tried a couple times, but when the lead dog jumped on the sled for treats. So there's a list of commands on here. One of the other ones is when you turn around, you'll find that the return trip is usually faster, and they know where they're going. As you get closer, you can use words like go to a truck, or let's go home, or go to the car and let's go get a treat. Whatever it is, be consistent so they know they're heading back. But once you turn them around, and turning them around sometimes is a little more difficult than it sounds. There are commands for that.
We've got our SHCA test. She's in bed today.
You want to come to the right or come paw, or you can just start with come and let them decide. But as they come around, you want to reward a good come, and away they go. But they will almost always run faster home, on their conditioning, things like that. So the truck, let's go home. They will know what it is. The other thing is that if you're going to train more than one dog, then as a beginner, you want to just do one dog at a time. So two gets a little crazy. Just like people, they learn differently. Some of them are more repetition. Some of them catch on immediately. Some of them's instinct is a little stronger to pull than others. I have lead dogs that get on there and just start hitting the line. They know they're not going anywhere, but if that instinct is to go, and they just keep hitting and hitting like they want to go. So when you're ready, they're ready. Others will stand there and go, I've done this before, I'm not wasting my energy. This isn't happening until he says this high school. So each dog's a little individual. The basics is healthy dog. Make sure they have good, healthy feet. Be patient and try never to be negative. If they're doing something wrong, encourage them to do it right. Like say, you can use a little treat or just a pat reward and get in the right way. And when they do it, even if you make them go to the G when you wanted left, right, whatever, praise them as if they did it. And they will remember that. You made them come G, come around. You just keep repeating the command. Once they've done it, praise them like, wow, what a good food. You're so good. Give them that praise. Yelling at them doesn't, when it's something they've done wrong, usually doesn't work. If they don't hear you the first time on a command, maybe the second, go up and fix it. Because they're not going to do it on the third or fourth. They didn't understand, or what you'll find is if once you're training in the same area, maybe you want to go a little further, they may want to take a right to go shortcut. They know the way home, so you got to encourage them. No, I'm by. Let's go straight. Oh, good dog. Reset them as you need to. You need to be safe, so always have a little extra rope with you, have a backpack, have maybe a first aid kit or cut foot or something like that. So have some booties if you're not already running in booties. Kind of carry that with you. And you can go on a walk and have them pull a certain distance, and then take the harness off, and they're done harness pulling, and then go take a walk. The most important thing is it gives you another way to have fun and teach them that what's already bred into them is the instinct to pull. So now you just need to channel that.
They have that instinct.
They do. We all know they do. They all know they do. But if you channel it, give them commands, even if you're not going to go running them separately, down the hallway in the hotel, it's great to be on by, put that dog in the, don't go after the room service tray.
Don't go in that room.
And I'll take any questions.
We used to like to train in the cemeteries. When we were training left and right and straight and all that.
How'd that work out?
I did work pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's great. It's a trail and
I mean, we need to train them to do the commands that we want, instead of so that they would make the left or right.
Yeah. And like I say, it's not important what you call it, as long as you're consistent with your commands and as you train. They will learn really quick what, they see a harness, they're going to know. You put it on, you better be ready with the drag because they're not going to be patient. But that's kind of the basics. More questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing about that.
Very nice. Thank you.
They have the best.